Iran's key ally China has unveiled a new variant of the DF-26 missile, a system long billed as capable of threatening U.S. aircraft carriers at ranges of roughly 4,000 kilometers. The change has fueled speculation that Beijing may have just made its already deadly carrier-killer missile even more lethal and harder for U.S. naval forces to counter. In rare state television footage, China showcased a DF-26 with a new nose shape, giving analysts an unusually clear look at the missile outside its launch canister. The missile's flattened apex and visible external panels hint at possible gains in terminal guidance or maneuverability, potentially allowing more precise corrections as it dives toward a moving ship. If confirmed, this would amount to a major upgrade of the so-called Guam Killer, significantly sharpening the DF-26's threat to U.S. carrier strike groups and bases across the Pacific theater. China unveiled a closer look at the nose of its DF-26 missile, according to Defense Security Asia, offering new visual details of the system's warhead section. July 2026 state media footage provided an unusually clear view of a DF-26 missile outside its launch canister, something rarely shown in previous broadcasts. In the images, the missile displayed a flattened warhead apex and a light-colored panel on the nose, drawing attention from defense analysts. This profile differed from the sharper, more pointed DF-26 nose shapes that had been seen in earlier public parades and test imagery. On its own, the new geometry does not prove a performance breakthrough or confirm any new operational capability. However, engineers say the shape is consistent with design paths toward more maneuverable re-entry vehicles that can adjust course in the final phase of flight. A revised nose form could also help reduce thermal stress during hypersonic descent, improving survivability and accuracy at high speed. Additional internal volume in the nose could support more capable terminal guidance equipment, such as larger or more sophisticated sensors. For an anti-ship role, the missile must be able to reacquire targets in the terminal phase while defenders try to disrupt its data links and tracking. If the new nose enables more aggressive terminal maneuvering, the DF-26 could become harder to intercept by ship-based missile defenses. A larger active radar or multi-mode seeker could also help correct targeting errors against warships that change course and speed during the missile's long flight. Such upgrades would improve the chances of hitting ships that are continuously moving throughout the DF-26's full trajectory. That said, the available footage does not explicitly show an installed sensor or confirm that this configuration is in operational field use. Alternative explanations for the apparent shape, including a simple protective cap or a misleading camera angle, remain possible. Analysts have therefore cautioned against confidently assigning new capabilities to this DF-26 variant without clearer, corroborated evidence. DF-26 is already known as the Guam Killer because its range reaches deep into the Western Pacific, putting key U.S. positions at risk. Road mobile and solid fuel, it can be quickly deployed and threatens both land bases and naval forces across a broad swath of the region. Its range covers the approaches to Guam and extends into parts of the strategically important second island chain. DF-26 is dual-capable, designed to carry either conventional or nuclear warheads depending on the mission. Open reports say these payloads can be swapped in the field, which adds escalation risk if an adversary cannot tell which type is being loaded. This mix of roles complicates early warning, signaling, and any attempt at a proportional response during a fast-moving crisis. The anti-ship mission for DF-26 is not just theoretical or on paper. In August 2020, China fired a DF-26B and a DF-21D toward a designated sea test area. That launch near the Paracel Islands demonstrated a real institutional commitment to developing DF-26 for maritime strike. China's sixth-generation fighter program is surging ahead, with reports now confirming that a fifth prototype has already entered flight tests, signaling just how fast Beijing is moving. On July 23, new footage surfaced showing China flight testing what analysts say is the fifth prototype of its very heavy, ultra-long-range sixth-generation combat aircraft. Questions quickly grew over whether footage from an earlier sighting may have shown this same new aircraft, hinting that more prototypes could be flying than publicly acknowledged. The observed jet appeared somewhat different in shape and proportions, but poor image quality has clouded the full view and left analysts debating exactly what China has in the air. Chengdu currently builds the J-20, China's premier fifth-generation stealth fighter, which has quietly become the backbone of the country's high-end air combat fleet. The PLA Air Force is estimated to be acquiring between 100 and 120 new J-20s every year, a production tempo that far outpaces most Western fighter programs. As a result, around 500 J-20 fighters are now believed to be serving with China's Air Force, giving Beijing one of the largest stealth fleets anywhere in the world. Two distinct sixth-generation types are expected to eventually succeed the entire J-20 fleet, splitting China's future air dominance role between different mission sets. Chengdu is reportedly developing an ultra-long-range, ultra-heavy combat aircraft for China, designed to project air power far beyond the country's immediate neighborhood. Meanwhile, Shenyang is building a lighter, but still very heavy fighter type that appears closer to J-20 dimensions, potentially giving the PLA more flexibility in how it fields sixth-gen jets. The first Chengdu sixth-generation prototype reportedly flew on December 26, 2024, marking the start of a test campaign that has progressed at remarkable speed. Within just months, at least 5 separate prototypes have already entered flight testing, suggesting a level of industrial and engineering focus rarely seen in modern fighter programs. Early service entry for these jets was once thought likely only in the early 2030s, in line with typical development timelines for such complex aircraft. Some analysts now estimate that operational deployment could happen as early as 2029 to 2030, shaving years off the original expectations if testing continues at this pace. This rapid prototype progress strongly suggests the program enjoys clear funding priority in Beijing, placing it at the very top of China's air power modernization agenda. An earlier deployment of China's sixth-generation fighters could significantly shift the military balance of power in East Asia, forcing neighbors and the US to rethink their own roadmaps. This new fighter program feeds directly into China's broader modernization of its aerial warfare capabilities, tying sensor, missile, and support networks into a single forward-leaning ecosystem. Beijing is simultaneously developing new satellites, long-range air-to-air missiles, next-generation AEW&C platforms and tankers, all of which are meant to complement these future fighters. Chengdu's sixth-generation fighter is described as being designed for ultra-long-range missions across the Pacific, allowing China to project air power far from its home bases. The aircraft may be able to operate beyond regular AEW&C and tanker support coverage, forcing China to build more organic range and sensing into the jet itself. Refueling support may still be available near Chinese-controlled territory, giving the jet forward reach while keeping its logistical lifelines anchored closer to home. Its unusually large nose cone could potentially house what analysts speculate might be the world's largest dedicated air combat radar, dramatically increasing detection range and target tracking capacity. Such a powerful onboard radar may reduce China's dependence on separate airborne early warning aircraft, allowing the fighter itself to serve as a sensor node deep inside contested airspace. Combined with advanced stealth shaping and high agility, this sensor suite could dramatically improve the jet's chances of surviving inside hostile-controlled airspace while still prosecuting long-range missions.